Good morning, Flosstube. I am Tamara. I am PD Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram. And this is my channel about cross stitch. Welcome. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you stick around. See if you see anything you like, and if you do, I would hope that you would hit the subscribe button and continue to come back. If you are returning, welcome back. I appreciate all of my friends here on Flosstube. I can't say enough how much you all mean to me. I have been very busy stitching. I didn't think I had been, but then when I was putting all my projects together to share this morning that I've worked on in the last 2 weeks, there's quite a bit. I think it helped that I had a few days off from work with the Christmas holiday and the New Year's holiday, so I had a little extra stitchy time that I don't normally have. That will probably change now that we're getting back into the swing of things with school stuff and sports and activities, and not very many days off in my near future. So let's get started. What all do I have to share today? I have a finish. Yay! That doesn't happen very often here, so I'm very excited when it does. I have several works in progress, or WIPs. I have a couple of new starts, and some stitchy accumulations. We're not going to call it haul. We're going to call it building my collection of stitchy goodness, and then some life stuff, which I try to keep to the end so that those of you who are only here for the stitching can scoot out after the stitching part is over. If you want to see or hear, not see, what's going on in my life, then just stick around to the end. I know I really enjoy hearing about my friends on Flosstube. When I love hearing their life stuff because they're my friends, and I want to know what's going on in their lives. So I appreciate that part of Flosstube, but I know there are people who their time is limited in watching Flosstubes, or they just don't want to be in that part, and that's fine. Sometimes you're just there to see the stitchy goodness, and that's good too. So let's start. As you can see, Buster is joining us today, a very sleepy Buster. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and for some reason there is no sun outside this morning. By the way, I think I forgot, today is Sunday, January 8th. And like I said, it's 7 o'clock in the morning and there is no sun. It's pitch black outside, which is very unusual. Usually by now the sun is starting to come up. So it's probably going to be a very gloomy day here, but that's okay. So let's look at the finish that I had. It is one of the Chalkboard Christmas greetings. This is the Snowman. And it says, "'Tis the season." Eventually I'm going to change it. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to finish these into ornaments. So I have the Santa with the reindeer and the train, merry and bright. So once I get a fully finished bug in me, I will fully finish these into ornaments. That could be this year, and if it is, I promise I'll share it. It could be 10 years from now. This could just end up going into the box under my bed, and I'll forget all about it, and then eventually finish it. We'll see. I tried to remember to unzip all of my bags. I may have missed one or two, so if you are using earphones, I apologize. So that was my one finish. Like I said, those were few and far between, so one for me feels great. So what else have I worked on? Royal Nutcrackers. This is a Bobbie G Designs. This is what it's going to look like. This is the cover photo. Here is where it was the last time you saw it. And here is where it is now. I'm trying to get the lighting. And this is my needle minder from the 12 Days of Christmas bag from Vicky Stitch and Button. You'll see a little bit of that throughout when we get to my accumulation of stitchy goodness portion. I have some things there. And then some things I forgot to keep out and here. And they've been in use. They're downstairs and in my stitchy spot because they were wonderful and I put them to use right away. So I did not follow the Flosstube rule of not using it until it's been shown because I have no chill and I wanted to use it right away. Hold on just a moment while I'm going to try to remember to tell y'all what the fabrics and things are because I'm pulling it up on my computer so it'll be right in front of me. But if I do not, it will all be in the description box below. And this is on 32 count Picture This Plus Faun. And I'm going to try to clean up as I go, so I apologize. But if I don't, then this one, when he wakes up, will be all in it. And Milo, when he comes in, right now he is not in the room because that would just be utter chaos. I definitely can't have this stuff out when he's in the room. More to that in life stuff. So the next one, oh, this is a zipper I did not get. This is Pandemic. Here is the cover photo. And here is what it looked like last time I showed it. And here is where it is now. I'm making some slow progress, but progress is progress nonetheless. Let me see if I can. This fabric is huge. It's 40 count angel hair from Weeks Dye Works. Because this is going to be a huge project. The fabric is huge. But it's getting there. I worked on this little area up in here. I did the little mouse. I'm saving all of the back stitch till the end, so some of these, you know, like these little are supposed to be butterflies. Right now, they just look like, I don't know, a few X's, but they will look like butterflies when I go finally to do the back stitch. But I'm saving it till the end because why not? And I'm trying to decide how I want to do the back stitch, if I want to do it all in one color or if I want to make the color match what the color is for that area. So I am using all DMCs, but I picked the palette from stitchpalettes.com. And it's a mixture of blues and teals. Very, very pretty. And like I said, anything I forget to say, like I can't remember what the numbers are for the DMCs. I think I will put that in the description box below if I remember. But it's just DMCs and blues and teals, so nothing fancy, but it still looks really, really pretty when they're all together. The next one, this one I am hoping I will be able to finish this year. This is Welcome Winter from Filigram. This is what it will look like. And here is where it was last time I showed it. And again, this is in an Amazon bag. My last one, Pandemic, is in a So Much to Love small bag. And that would be Milo at my door. We're not letting him in. We don't need chaos yet. We'll get a little bit of noise, but at least no chaos. It would help if I showed this right side up, wouldn't it? So here is where it is now. And y'all, I've just got some snowman left to do and some of the bottom border. I think the rest of this snowflake, obviously, because that's not completely done. But not much. So yes, I do think this can be a finish this year. When this year? I don't know. But a finish nonetheless. Which is good because I plan on starting a lot of things this year and I'd like to get some finishes to sort of balance that out. This next one definitely will be a finish this year. This is Story Stitches Christmas Classic Sal from 2021. Yes, from Christmas time of 2021. I did really good keeping up with it for the first 2 releases back in 2021. And then I didn't really work on it again until like November of 2022. But I'm almost done. Now hopefully I'll remember to work on it between now and November of 2023 so I can finish it well before Christmas this year. This is what it's kind of going to look like. It's the cover photo that I have, but I changed out some people and rearranged some of them. And then here is where it was the last time I shared it. And here is where it is now. And this is on 32 count Joy to the World from Grace Notes Fabrics. I love their fabrics, y'all. The modeling is just beautiful and the fabric is so easy to work with. So all I have left is the rest of Mrs. Claus. Right now she doesn't look like much, but that's all that's left is the rest of Mrs. Claus. And then this will be done. So I swapped out Karen. I added Karen and I took out the young Santa. I don't know. That wasn't a memory that was really important to me from watching these cartoons when I was younger. But Karen was an important part of Frosty, so I had to keep her in. So this is also a finish for 2023. I'm saying that now because this is my first Flosstube of 2023, so I'm going to speak this into existence that Welcome Winter and Christmas Classic Sal will both be finishes this year out of the ones I've shared with you so far. I would love for Royal Nutcrackers to be a finish. I don't know. There's a lot of stitching left to do. The next whip is Rosetta from Ink Circles, and this is what the cover photo looks like. And here it was the last time I showed you. And here is where it is now. I am working obviously on this medallion right here. So what I'm doing with this, as you can see, it does not look like the cover photo. The design does, the colors do not. I am doing a set of colorways. So we have teal, pink, red, green, purple. And then I move purple, teal, pink, red, and then this will be green. And then we'll have a green, a purple, a teal, and a pink, red. I will have all of the colors listed below. This I know is Gentle Art's Peacock. This is Week Style Works Love. This is Week Style Works, I can't remember, Cactus, I think. I don't remember what these 2 purples are. This teal, I don't remember either. Like I said, they'll all be in the description box below. This is Azaleas because this is the one I'm currently using, and I was working on this last night. And I'll be working on it again today because this is my focus piece for the weekend. Because my Whip Go goal, one of the ones that was called for January, is to finish 1 medallion of Rosetta. So if I can finish this off, which I should be able to by the end of January. Don't think it's going to happen this weekend, but I'll make some more progress on it. got a lot going on this weekend, and it's already Sunday, so there's that. Again, more to come in the life section at the end. And my last work in progress, or WIP, is another WIP Go call for January, the other WIP Go call for January. This is Christmas 2. This is the cover photo. And here is what it looked like last time I showed it. And here is where it is now. I am working on this page. I've decided to go across instead of continuing to do the stair-step pages. So I'm going to go across till I get to the end of what can be seen in this Q-snap, then I'll go back across, and then I don't know if I'm going to continue to move over or if I'll go down and back to finish to these pages over here. But it's looking so good. Like I said, this is also a focus project for this month. It's also my focus project for the year for full coverage. I want to get some more work on this. I would like to get this close to a finish in the next 3 years. So maybe by 2025, I can finish this by the end of that year. We'll see. I don't think so. It's kind of reaching. But you never know. So that's all of my works in progress. And then I have 2 new starts because, you know, why not? So my little apparently is really acting the fool and driving my daughter crazy. I'm sorry. So my first one is Flosstube Friends. And I am doing this with a group of my Flosstube friends. We are doing this as a not so round round robin, where we're not actually passing our pieces around to be stitched on. We are each picking a person, as they're called. So Hannah Dowling from Hannah Dowling is kind of running this, and she spun the wheel for all of us who are participating for our first person. And the first person that was spun was Corinne from Grace Note Stitchers. And she chose to be this person right here, and she chose her color to be purple. I've not started on that person. I'm still working on the border because I'm behind, which is great for a not so round robin because I don't have the stress of having to pass it on to somebody in a certain amount of time with my part complete. Because I may or may not get my part complete by that time. I could do it if I focused on just this. So it's possible. I have the ability to follow through, and I would if I had to. However, I don't have to, so I'll work on it. It'll get there. But I've started on the border, so I don't know which person I'm going to pick when my time is called, because I don't know when my time will be called and who will be left. We'll have to see. But this is where I am so far, and this is on Color and Cotton, 32 count Color and Cotton Ophelia. This calls for 40 count. I didn't have any 40 count in a color that I liked. Hey, can you stop licking your paw? I'm so sorry. I know that noise is kind of obnoxious. But I didn't have any 40 count in a color that I wanted to stitch it on, and I have so much fabric in my stash, and I'm trying to not spend money, that I decided I would just do this on 32 count and it'll just be big. But this is what it is. I'm changing out almost all of the colors from what's called for, because if I don't have what's called for, I'm just going to use my own thing. So, but this is where it is. I love it. I love the colors that I'm choosing. I love how it's looking. I have floss across the bottom, so now we just need Tube and Friends, and then the rest of the border this way, and then I will get started on Corinne. So maybe by the end of January I will have at least started on Corinne. So Hannah is calling a person. She's spinning a person every 2 months. So this is for January and February for Corinne. So I should be able to get her done by the end of February. And then I'll be ready for whoever's called for March and April. But we'll see. And my other new start was my New Year New Start. I know I've said this in a Flosstube recently, that I'm planning to do a new start every month. one new start. That's what I said. But now it's looking like I may have more than one in some months, just because. Now, that one was a new start in December. This was my New Year new start. And this is Pretty Little Washington, D.C. And this is what it's going to look like. I finished Pretty Little San Francisco this past year, and I'm trying to do all the places that I've been to with family or on vacations or things like that. So one of my daughters and I went to Washington, D.C. for her senior trip because she is a huge history buff. We went in October of 2020, so not everything was opened back up yet. We were supposed to go in March of 2020. In fact, we were supposed to leave on the 17th. As you all remember, the whole world turned upside down on March 13th and everything closed. So we obviously canceled that trip because we wouldn't have been seeing anything. Nothing would have been open. So we postponed it till October, and we got to go see a few things. I would love to go back with her and actually get to see some more because I know she would love it. Like I said, she's my history buff, so we shall see. So here is what I've done. And this is on Color and Cotton, 32 count Color and Cotton Requiem. And I have done a good bit of work on the Washington Monument. So there's that. Are you done? I'm so sorry. He is so noisy this morning. I'm sorry, y'all. Especially for those of you wearing earbuds, because sometimes I watch Flosstubes wearing earbuds, and I know that every noise is completely magnified when it's in your ear. So I'm so sorry. Buster, can you say hello to the people? No, you don't want to say hello to the people? He's looking at me like I've lost my mind, which maybe I might have. Okay, so accumulation of, and this is in my little son bag from Barefoot Needle Arts, which I still have not visited. And y'all, it's only an hour and a half from me. I really need to go there in person. Eventually, when I'm not running for everybody else. So, Stitchy acquisitions. So I talked about the 12 Days of Christmas bag from Vicki at Stitch and Button. And one of the little goodies was this pattern from Fox and Rabbit called Yuletide Deer. Is this not so cute? It's not very big. It's 78 by 79. So this would make a cute little ornament. Hell, I'm losing my voice. I don't know what's going on with that. And it also came with this sweet little fabric to do it on. And this is from Doodlebug Designs, which is Sammy J, Tiny Hummingbird Stitchery's daughter, dyes fabric. And so I think this is her fabric. And I got a Christmas present from one of my girls, which is Christmas from the Cross-Eyed Cricket collection. She said she went to my 1-2-3 Stitch wish list and found the word Christmas in one of the designs, and that's the one she picked for me, which is great because I'm hopefully going to finish December, which will be my last of my months, and then I wanted to start on the seasons and the holidays. So this gets me moving towards that without having to buy something else. And this was a goodie from my No New Starts group that I was in last year. I won one of the door prize things at the end of the thing. And this is Foxy Fall by Faraway Designs. Is that not the cutest fox? Absolutely cute. Absolutely cute. And then a piece of 40 count Zweigart Woodland Brown from Garon Stitchery. Obviously, this would go on that. So I had 13 starts planned for this year. Well, 12 starts planned for this year. And then I was going to pick a 13th one for my birthday start. One each month, right? This. And this. And this are all saying start me. So this may be my year to start all the things, which is good because I'm in the No New Starts group changed its name to Whip Warriors. And they have a new, sorry, I'm not going to put that back in the bag right now because it's just noisy. They have a path that you can take, which is Swee-Wee. Stitch what you want when you want. That's my path this year because apparently I'm going to stitch all the things and start all the things. And why not? And then I also, this is December's fabric of the month from Grace Notes Fabrics. And this is Raspberry Latte. And it came with a needle minder that says Grace Notes Fabrics. So I did manage to keep this without using it yet, but it's going right downstairs to my stitchy spot so I can, But look at this fabric. This is 40 count. I get the 40 count and I alternate between the color and the neutral each month. I think this is the neutral. Yes, the neutrals were drink names. So I wanted to show you how pretty this is and get the color. There we go. That's kind of it. It's a little bit more. You can kind of see the pink, purple, and then there's a brown tint, but it's not as brown. This is showing all this darkest brown, but it's more of a darker pinky purple. Yeah. I don't know how to get the color to show, but it's gorgeous. And I think I know what I'm going to put on. What I'm going to use this with. I cannot speak today, words. Lester, we're going to go downstairs in a minute. Please chill. So that's all my stitchy acquisitions. Life. It's been a busy few days. So it's actually been a busy few months. So back in October, I hit a deer when we were coming home from one of the college visits with my senior this year. And I don't know if y'all have had a car issue recently, but since the world turned upside down, apparently car places are having trouble getting parts in. So I hit the deer in October, the beginning of October, and I called that day, called my insurance, and they got me hooked up with the collision center. So I called the collision center to see when I could bring it in, and they said the first opening they had, when they could also get the parts in, would be December 26th. So my car went in the shop, and then they called me back the week before December 26th, and we're finally realizing that they weren't open that day because it's the day after Christmas, and Christmas was on a Sunday, so they were closed for Christmas on the 26th. So I couldn't take it in until the 27th. That's fine. My car was drivable. It just had a big dent in one side, in the front side, at the headlight. The other headlight worked. The headlight actually worked. It was just dented in, and so it was drivable. I could deal with it. Went in. They told me it would take 4 days. Put it in on the 27th. 4 business days from the 27th would have been January 3rd. Today's the 8th. I still don't have my car. I've been driving a rental car. I've been paying for a rental car. So I called them on the 3rd to see, where's my car? What's going on with it? And my person that I've been working with had that day off, which is fine. I understand people should have days off. But in my thinking, if you work in a place and you're solely responsible for this group of clients and you're going to take a day off, then somebody else should have knowledge of your clients so that they can deal with whoever calls in that day. No, nobody knew. Nobody could tell me what was going on with my car. Didn't know. So I called back on the 4th, and she said, oh, we just had to call for a part on Friday. The 30th, they've known that they've needed this part because it was the grill for the front of my car, which was dented when I hit the deer. So they knew back in October that they needed a grill. They just ordered it on the 30th. So it came in this past Friday on the 6th, and hopefully my car will be ready for me tomorrow. So that was car issue number 1. Car issue number 2, my husband's car, the whole engine just decided to quit. They were on their way back from a football game, 3 hours away. Him and my daughter, one of my daughters, and the car just died on the interstate. So I had to drive. They were on their way home, so they were only about an hour and a half away. So I drove up, got them. He got the car towed to our house that night because it was late on a Saturday. Like the truck didn't come to get him until after 11. After he had sat there for 2 hours waiting for the tow truck. That was miserable. So so he got it towed to a dealership, to the Hyundai dealership to get it fixed. And this was back in November. And we didn't hear anything. Like, he called and they were like, oh, we're still working on it. We're still looking at it. He found out on the 3rd of this month, January, it'll take 2 to 6 months for them to get all the parts in. 2 to 6 months without him having the car. Now, we've been making it work. We've had 2 cars, including the rental, which that means only he or I could drive because you have to be over 25 to drive the rental. But we've been making it work with me taking him to work and then me going to work myself and then somebody picking him up, and it's been working. It's not been easy, but it's been working. Well, he was like, he's tired of it. So yesterday we drove to North Carolina, about 2 hours away, and he bought a truck. So now he has a vehicle. When his car comes out of the shop in 2 to 6 months, his new truck and his car are both manual. I can drive it. I'm not really good at driving a manual, but I can drive it. He likes it, which is great because it actually makes it easier and cheaper to buy a manual because nobody else wants to buy them. But he's going to teach our younger girls to drive it so that they can also drive the car when it comes out of the shop. That'd be a win, right? So that was what I did yesterday. I drove to North Carolina with him and then drove back. Well, that was 4 hours of driving, and then the time that he was taking the car out and stuff. Didn't get any stitching done during that time yesterday because I can't stitch in the car, and like I can, but it's really hard for me, so I read, which is fine. It was another hobby of mine, so it worked. So that was yesterday. Today we have the Fall Sports Awards for the high school, so we have that this afternoon. I'll be going to that. I won't be stitching at that either, and that will probably be a couple hours there. So like I said, I'm not going to be able to get a lot of stitching in. And then on Wednesday, my child is having her signing ceremony at school Wednesday morning to run for Clemson in college. So we'll have that. And then Thursday is her birthday. So this is a big week for her, for my runner child. And my youngest, who I've mentioned before, is wrestling. She has had a concussion and been under concussion protocol for the last 3 weeks. So she hasn't been able to wrestle. She's just been going to wrestling and having to watch. She was cleared Friday. She has to do her last day of concussion protocol today or tomorrow, and then she can wrestle again in a meet or a match or whatever they're called. So she can wrestle on Tuesday. So we'll have wrestling on Tuesday, and then she has another wrestling thing on Saturday. My runner daughter's doing a half marathon on Saturday in Charleston, so that's about 2 hours away. So lots going on, very little stitching. So the next video I do may not have as much stitching as I had today because, like I said, don't have a lot of time off between now and the next video. I do have jury duty coming up, though. I got called for jury duty for January 17th. Y'all, I've not had jury duty. I've not been called for jury duty since I was in college, so it's been a long time. Actually, I've been called, but I've been able to get out of it because every time I've been called, I've had multiple children under the age of 7, where I am the sole provider because we homeschooled. So I got out of it. But I've not been. I don't know. Can I take stitching with me for when I'm just sitting there doing nothing? If you know, please comment below. Let me know, because I don't want to take stitching and be yelled at because I have scissors or whatever. Otherwise, I'll just take a book. Not a big deal. But if I can take stitching, I do have a couple of projects where it's like little things, so I could work on that. Let me know. Because I don't know who else to ask besides y'all, so let me know. But that's life here. Crazy always. Buster's decided to go back to sleep now that the Milo crazy has stopped. But as soon as I finish this, we'll go downstairs. He'll eat breakfast. Milo will go nuts because his friend will be downstairs to play with him. So y'all have a good week. I hope you can get a lot of stitching done. And as you can see, the sun has come out now. Because apparently in 35 minutes, the sun came out after 7 o'clock. Y'all stay happy. Stay healthy. Keep stitching. Bye.